Hey everyone, and welcome to another review coming to you at Creature Hunt Guy here, coming to you from Monster Island. And today we are reviewing a very famous kaiju from the world of Godzilla, Gigan. So let's delve right in here. So let's take a look at the tag, shall we? Let's get a zoom in on there. Okay, so as you can see, the tag features a picture from the movie Godzilla vs. Gigan, I'm assuming. Gigan appeared in exactly 2 movies of Godzilla's, by the way. The first one being, of course, Godzilla vs. Gigan, and then the next one being Godzilla vs. Megalon. Those are the only 2 movies that this Gigan appeared in. There were others that later on, in fact, there was exactly 1 later on, called Godzilla Final Wars, which featured the more upgraded and awesome-looking Gigan. But this is the Showa version, as you can see. So let's look in here, and it is the same picture of Gigan. Here on the outside is Godzilla 1974. Of course, that's not the version that actually fought Gigan. It was the it was an earlier version. In fact, it was Godzilla 1972. But anyway, close enough. So let's take a look at the actual figure. First, let's take a look at paint. Okay, so this is, of course, the movie Monster Series version, of which there have been 2 others, actually. The first 2 looked a bit different, but this one is the version that is the most recent. So let's take a look at the highlights here. Up here, you can see these dark highlights, which it looks a little awkward, I must say. These black blotches just here randomly. It's supposed to give it this sort of shading look, you know, him being metallic and everything. But I do like the way they have this awesome yellow, goldish sort of color that's so very metallic looking. I mean, it just sparkles in the sun. I mean, it is awesome. It is very good indeed. Same to do with the silver here. Very metallic and, you know, metal looking. You just, you know, this is... I mean, it really makes you think, like, you know, this is a claw. This is a real metal claw that could just rip you in half if you even touched it. And same to go with this thing, with this buzzsaw stomach deal and his 2 little feet. The blue is very good. It's very nice, sort of sky. Well, not sky blue, but I don't know, just sort of a cerulean kind of nice baby cerulean blue sort of color. Anyway, so yeah, paint job is very good. Now, as to whether it actually looks like the Gigan in the movie, well, yeah, it does sort of. The Gigan in the movie, I'd say, was maybe a little bit darker. The standard version of this figure, which I'll be reviewing later, I'd say may actually capture the actual color of the Gigan in the movie a little bit better. The thing is, Gigan was always shown in the dark, so it's hard to tell exactly what his color was. So let's take a look at detail here. Well, if you get to zoom in very closely here, you can take a look here in between his pincers, and you can see a couple of top razor-sharp teeth. And that's very cool. And it's very good, too, even though they're not, you know, individually sculpted, which I'll admit is very petty. But they're drawn in. I mean, if you can just get a good look there. Barely visible. I myself didn't ever notice it until just recently. And, I mean, it's awesome that Bandai would even think to put little teeth up there. Then you got this little deal here, which is where his laser comes from. Back here is where I get a major detail problem. The spikes. They're silver, right? Not his whole head is supposed to be silver, just these spikes. Why did Bandai do that sometimes? I mean, really, just think about it for a minute. Have you ever noticed when Bandai makes a figure and they go all out and it's supposed to be all totally awesome and everything, but then they go and do something like this? I mean, it's ridiculous. This is not acceptable. Well, okay, it's acceptable. I'll admit that. This is an awesome Gigan figure, but this, and maybe it's just my version, I don't know. I'm sure it's different on every single one because they're only going, like, in the factory, and I don't know. But, this is bad. This is wrong. Bandai, if you're out there listening, this is not kosher, okay? But other than that, I'll let this guy off, and he is awesome. The sculpt is great. The sculpt is excellent. Taking a look at articulation here, the feet can move like this. Both of them, the legs. The arms can move all the way around. The head doesn't move, but that's okay. But speaking of that neck and head, look at those awesome wrinkles up there. I mean, it just makes him look like he's, you know, going, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's just my imagination. Anyway, so that's the articulation. The tail, of course, does not move. It's kind of glued into space. I just glued on there, but that's okay. Now, I know I say that a lot, but anyway, let's go on to scale, size comparison. So unfortunately, they never made Godzilla in 1972. But if you want to, but that's only for the real the real detail fanatics out there. Godzilla 1972 was in that transition stage from Godzilla 68 to Godzilla 74. So either 68 or 74 is going to work. Now I have here Godzilla 1968 from Destroy All Monsters. And if their tags will get out of the way, I'll be able to show you how awesome they look together. So, yeah, size looks actually pretty accurate. Gigan was pretty much about the same size as Godzilla in the movies. He's a bit taller, as you can see here, and that's about right, actually. I mean, it looks fairly decent. And, you know, they go pretty well together, I must say. So, you can get Godzilla, and if you have Godzilla, you can get Gigan. If you got Gigan, you can get Godzilla, and they go well together. So, definitely an awesome figure. Awesome scaling and everything. And finally, rating. Well, this is really an excellent figure. It was a total relief to collectors when Bandai finally rescaled their Gigan figure. They resculpted it, and they rescaled it down 6 inches, which was, granted, was a bit of a disappointment. But still, it's awesome. I mean, just look at it. It's made of this squishy, soft, kind of soft vinyl compared to the old version, and it's just awesome. The detail is excellent, except for this right here, and I don't know if that's on the older versions. This may just be the movie Monster Series version, and it may just be my one, I don't know. But just judging from a random figure that I bought randomly off the internet from a random seller, this is a good figure. It's okay. It really is. It's got nice detail otherwise. I mean, just look at the scales and everything, and the nice metallic color. It's awesome. It really is. So, since it's such a trusty, dependable figure that really just goes good with everything, I would have to say that this figure rates about a 3.5. 3. It's pretty average, okay? It's nothing too special. We have seen this mold over and over again, so that does take away from the novelty of it all. But, seeing as how it has been released in both the Godzilla Island, Toho Kaiju, Movie Monster Series, Memorial Box, and that's probably about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there may be a couple other versions floating around out there. But, so we have seen this sculpt a lot, but like the King Ghidorah figure I showed you, it's an awesome figure. It shows exactly what the monster in the movie was meant to look like. It may look a little different, sure, but it's still, this is Gigan. There's no denying that this is Gigan. Unlike the Ghidorah, it's not quite as awesome, but still, I mean, it's Gigan. And what else can you say? So definitely go out and get this guy. This particular version may be a bit pricey, but it shouldn't be too bad. Got it off of clawmarktoys.com. Always do business with them. And it was, don't want to say, but check them out. They have a great website, and I bet you can get a pretty good deal. So anyway, this is Gigan. I'm Creature Hunt Guy from Monster Island, and I'll see you next time.